what's up guys, hope you guys are doing well. I'm sure like you all have, such as myself, you've had a look at the PlayStation State of Play, which definitely showcased 007 First Light by IO Interactive, the developers of the Hitman World of Assassination trilogy. Quite an interesting batch of games. So coming into the showcase, I had a little bit of a different perspective than I would consider most people hopping into this. This is probably your first time really seeing what this group of developers can do, but on my side, it's a little bit different. To be absolutely honest, I am personally unimpressed with what was shown in that State of Play showcase. To put it very simply, unfortunately overall it simply looks way too much like Hitman with a British and more talkative skin. Unfortunately, the character models are also still poor, just like in the Hitman trilogy. The stealth system is also pretty much almost identical. If you just look at the UI elements and a few other stuff, you will see that the stealth system is pretty much exactly the same and pretty much identical to pretty much every other Ubisoft stealth system you've ever experienced. If you go ahead and look at the distraction, the NPC AI, and the whole lot, there are changes, or pretty much not really much of any changes to the user interface and the way in which these systems work. If you're somebody who really enjoyed Hitman and is essentially looking for some more of that sort of gameplay, I think James Bond is going to be a good time for you. And I personally wouldn't mind some more Hitman, so I will probably enjoy it. But if you are looking for a brand new experience or something groundbreaking, seeing where IO Interactive can take the skills and the things they learned from Hitman and put it into a completely and create a brand new recipe, no, definitely not. That's not how it went down. The cinematography is poor and lacks a number of angles. If we're talking about the in-game cutscenes, they're definitely quite disappointing. To put it very simply, James Bond 007 First Light doesn't look like a game made in 2025. It seems like a AA title for sure. To put it very simply, and you may find this offensive or not, it reminds me quite a lot about Saints Row 3, which came out, 2014? Huge frame drops are really quite disappointing, and I don't know, man, if you're somebody who's really touchy about performance, man, this is definitely going to hurt you big time. Luckily for me, I have a variable refresh rate monitor, which will hopefully hide them if they aren't too big. Now, what I can give them credit on is that the combat, the moment-to-moment combat, has definitely been greatly improved in this title. It's funny that I also mentioned Saints Row 3 because even from the first mission there definitely is some strong inspiration there, whether it be the combat scenes they set up and of course you fighting in a falling aeroplane and having to find your own parachute. I'm sure it's probably just a coincidence, but I just found it amusing, the similarities I saw to James Bond and Saints Row. Just quite entertaining. Of course, I'm as sure as many others mentioned, the motion blur is definitely overdone, but I'm sure there will be an option to simply turn it off. The combat looks interesting, and yeah, well done to them for actually making a dedicated melee system. Now, I'm sure a lot of Hitman and IO Interactive fans are going to attack me for my sentiments thus far, but it is completely possible for one studio to deliver a totally different experience by the same developers. Uncharted and The Last of Us are clear examples of. While I expected to see some phantoms of the Hitman skeleton in this game, it seems James Bond is much more of a porcelain integument of Hitman. When you really go deeper into the experience, they have simply chosen to use the exact same formula with a few extra steps, which for me, who's somebody who recently played and completed the trilogy, is quite disappointing. Definitely go and check out my Hitman World of Assassination review. It's quite good, it's quite thorough. I definitely had a great time with those titles, but I don't know, man, this feels lazy, man, and it's disappointing. I expected more from IO Interactive. Instead of coming with something completely brand new, they seem to be rehashing what they've already done. I guess if it ain't broke, why fix it? The Hitman trilogy are definitely some great games and are definitely superb achievements for IO Interactive, but a different fork in the road was needed. Not the same steak with just a different seasoning, but an entirely new cut of beef entirely. Now, as mentioned, there is some good with the melee system that looks good, and with better moment-to-moment combat, this is definitely going to make those instances when you finally get caught while you're in stealth much more enjoyable. But the quality of this is not even particularly high. I just ponder my mind over to Watch Dogs, which came out and achieved this level of gameplay complexity back in 2014. To be absolutely honest with you, the only difference between this James Bond and Watch Dogs 2014 is that this game has much more graphical fidelity and lacks the complexity of a diverse hacking system. This title, from a gameplay perspective, story perspective, engine perspective, stealth perspective, isn't exactly bringing anything brand new other than bringing the legendary Bond and 007 title to the gaming landscape. Now, okay, to be fair, I've definitely been particularly negative in this video, but I'll be absolutely honest, man. For developers that you enjoy and like, you expect more. I expected progression, I expected elevation, I expected stratification when they're coming with a brand new title, not more of the same. But it would seem that just like Obsidian Entertainment, they have found their level and they aim to remain there.